No one told you this, but that slight fatigue and morning heaviness you've been ignoring might be the first quiet signs of a liver in crisis. Welcome, my friends. Professor Vitalis here with your daily dose of wisdom and wellness, where science and experience walk hand in hand. Today, we are diving deep into a condition that affects half of all people over 40, often in complete silence. And I urge you to stay with me until the very end, because I will not only reveal the simple 3-step method an 85-year-old master hepatologist used to help patients reduce liver fat in just 8 days, but I will also expose the 5 common mistakes that sabotage any attempt at healing. And you are almost certainly making at least one of them. Let's begin with the problem. You probably think fatty liver disease is something that only happens to people who are overweight or drink too much. But what if I told you that after the age of 40, every second person is developing it and most don't even know it? Your blood tests come back normal and you blame the symptoms on stress, high blood pressure, or hormones. That feeling of swelling, the brain fog in the morning, trouble sleeping, a bitter taste in your mouth. It all gets brushed aside. And then one day, your doctor delivers the news you never expected. You have fibrosis. You feel a persistent heaviness in your right side, but your lab results are fine. You wake up, have your coffee, look in the mirror, and everything seems okay. But there's a pressure under your right ribs, not a sharp pain, but a constant presence. You tell yourself you must have eaten something heavy, but it happens again the next day and the day after. Your doctor might give you some pills and tell you not to worry, but you know something isn't right, and you are correct. Because fatty liver is not a disease of the obese or the alcoholic. It is a silent process. Your liver is a stoic organ. It doesn't scream in pain. It simply accumulates fat inside its cells. When that fat exceeds 5% of its weight, it's officially fatty liver disease or hepatic steatosis. By 10%, inflammation begins. This is when the real trouble starts. The bitterness in your mouth, the swelling in your legs, the dull skin, fluctuating blood pressure, and poor sleep, these are no longer just whispers. But the scariest part is that your blood work can still look perfectly normal, even with 8% fat infiltration. Your standard biochemistry tests only react when your liver cells are damaged and start to burst, not when they are simply overfilled. So you continue your life, eating, drinking, binge-watching shows until 2 a.m., completely unaware that your liver is in overload. It's no longer detoxifying your blood, processing fats, or stabilizing your hormones. It has become a storage warehouse, and if you don't act now, in 5 to 7 years, that warehouse will turn into fibrotic scar tissue and then cirrhosis. At that point, no herbal tincture will save you. That heaviness you feel is your liver begging for help. So why do even thin people get a fatty liver? I've seen it many times. A woman, 45 years old, 5'5", 128 pounds. She looks trim, wears a size small, but her ultrasound shows moderate fatty liver. How is this possible? She doesn't drink alcohol, eat fried foods, or touch fast food. The fat is coming from a place no one suspects. Sugar. Not from a slice of cake, but from the healthy things she consumes. Green tea with honey, yogurt with fruit, granola with dried apricots. You see, these healthy products, when they contain hidden sugar, hit the liver harder than a piece of bacon. This is because fructose, the sugar in fruits and honey, is not like glucose. It doesn't get used for immediate energy. It goes directly to the liver, where it is converted into fat. The more frequently you consume it, even in small doses, the faster your liver turns into a fat storage facility. And that's not all. Stress is a major culprit. When you're anxious, your body produces cortisol. Cortisol raises your blood sugar, and what does the liver do with that excess sugar? It turns it into fat. So even if you're losing weight on a diet, your liver can still be packing on fat because the signal it's receiving isn't from dietary fat, but from a metabolic breakdown. Another trap is snacking. You think, I'll just have an apple to tide me over. But every time you eat, you signal your pancreas to release insulin. And insulin is the master conductor of fat storage in the liver. Yes, even from just an apple. Finally, there's the late dinner. Even a healthy meal of chicken and quinoa at 9 p.m. is too late. The liver doesn't have time to process it, and a portion of that energy is sent straight to storage. What truly happens inside you when you go to bed with a full stomach? It's a disaster in slow motion. You had a light dinner at 9:30 p.m., some fish, a little rice, tea with honey. As you drift off watching a show, your liver isn't resting, it's on high alert. Your stomach is still digesting, glucose is entering your bloodstream, and insulin is rising. At this exact moment, your liver is supposed to be switching into its nightly detoxification mode. Its peak activity for cleansing and regeneration happens between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. But because you've loaded it with food, that mode never engages. Instead of rejuvenation, it experiences stress. Instead of fat burning, it triggers fat storage. This is like plugging your electric car into charge but leaving the heater on full blast. The battery won't charge, it will drain. That is your liver on a late dinner. Worse yet, eating late suppresses the production of melatonin. Melatonin isn't just the sleep hormone, it's the signal that tells your liver, begin the cleanup. Without that signal, the process never starts. So it doesn't matter if you take a special tincture or go to bed on time. If your stomach is working, it's all for nothing. You can do everything right for days, but one late dinner resets all your progress. So, how do we fix this? In 2022, a remarkable study was published in Tokyo that went almost unnoticed. Over 8 days, 47 participants over the age of 60, all diagnosed with early-stage fatty liver, were given no special diets, workouts, or pills. They were only asked to follow 3 simple rules: finish dinner by 7 p.m., put away all gadgets 30 minutes before bed, and take a specific plant-based tincture at 10 p.m. After 1 week, ultrasounds showed that 68% of participants had reduced the fat in their liver by 1.5 times. For 15%, it had disappeared completely. The researchers concluded that the key factor was activating the liver's nightly detox phase. When the liver receives the right signals and is allowed to work in a state of rest, it begins to use its internal fat stores as fuel. Why don't we hear more about this? Because you can't sell an early dinner. You can't order sleep without your phone from a marketplace. It's free and therefore uninteresting to the pharmaceutical industry. This isn't about treatment. It's about returning to your body's natural rhythms. This is the very principle discovered decades ago by Dr. Hans Popper, one of the founders of modern hepatology. He saw that the liver isn't healed with pills, it's brought back to life with rhythm. So, what should you do? Here is the method. First, and this is non-negotiable, your last meal of the day must be finished by 7 p.m. Any food intake after this hour, even a single banana or a spoonful of honey, signals your pancreas to release insulin. And as we've learned, insulin is the stop button for fat burning and the go button for fat storage. Your liver cannot simultaneously digest and detoxify. You must give it at least a 3-hour window of rest before sleep. If you feel hungry in the evening, address it during the day with more protein and fiber at lunch. Second, at 10 p.m. you will take a specific herbal tincture. Why 10 p.m.? Because this is a precise biological signal, like an alarm clock for your liver. It contains 3 key plants working in synergy. First is milk thistle. Its active compound, silymarin, acts as a shield, protecting your liver cells from damage and stimulating their regeneration. Second is dandelion root. It gently stimulates the gallbladder to release bile, which is essential for flushing out toxins and fat. Without bile flow, any cleanse is impossible. Third is peppermint. It relaxes the bile ducts, eases that feeling of heaviness, and improves microcirculation within the liver. You can find these as a pre-made tincture or easily prepare it yourself. Simply take 1 teaspoon of crushed milk, thistle seeds, 1 teaspoon of dandelion root, and a pinch of mint. Pour a cup of warm, not boiling, water over them and let it steep for 15 minutes. This isn't just an herbal tea, it's a command. And finally, the third step, which is just as crucial. Turn off all screens 1 hour before bed and aim to be asleep by 11 p.m. That blue light from your phone or tablet penetrates your eyes and tells your brain it's still daytime, slashing your melatonin production by up to 70%. Without melatonin, the liver never gets the signal to begin its work. You can follow the other steps perfectly, but if you scroll through your phone in bed, you are killing the entire process. Put the phone in another room, read a book, give your brain the signal that the day is over, and please remember those 5 mistakes that nullify all your efforts: eating late, consuming any form of sugar in the evening, using gadgets before bed, not getting at least 7 hours of deep sleep, and simply not believing that something so simple can be so effective. It is never too late to start. I've seen the evidence myself. A 72-year-old man, plagued by chronic heaviness and high blood pressure despite a healthy diet, finally switched his 8:30 p.m. dinner to 7 p.m. and gave up his late-night TV. Within 10 days, his sleep was deeper and the swelling in his legs was gone. Within a month, his liver fat had decreased by 40%. The liver is the only organ that can fully regenerate, even in your 70s and 80s. Its cells renew every 150 days. This means that in under 6 months, you can have a new, healthier liver if you just stop getting in its way. The only barrier is the thought, it's too late. If you follow this tonight, you won't wake up thinner, but you will wake up lighter. Your abdomen will feel softer as the fluid retention subsides. The bitter taste will be gone. The brain fog will start to lift. This is your biology responding. Your body is ready and waiting. You just have to give it the chance. This is not about a diet. This is about giving your liver the quiet, the signal, and the time it needs to do its job. Knowledge only works when you apply it. I'm Professor Vitalis. Stay curious, stay healthy, and never stop learning.